This is part of the Cardiff suburb of Splot, a district which Shelter, the National Campaign for the Homeless, says in today's report should be declared an emergency area. It's one of 7 districts in different parts of Britain chosen as examples of multi-deprived communities where housing, education, health and transport facilities are bad. Only 34 in every 100 here have an inside toilet. Less than 70 in 100 have exclusive use of baths, and infant mortality is 50% higher here than in Cardiff as a whole. Well, those are some of the figures quoted in the report.
What we're saying needs to be done is that these areas need to be treated as far more as areas rather than housing problems. These areas have multiple problems related to employment, related to education, the overstretched social services, to employment opportunities, none of which can be handled in isolation. Housing is the crux of the problem. You can see around here that the housing desperately needs improvement, but to improve the houses without creating the employment opportunities, without creating special educational facilities, without fleshing up the social services departments, none of this will succeed unless it's done as a coordinated programme. And local authorities at the moment, first of all, don't have the money to provide the sort of resources that are needed in an area like this, and secondly, they don't have the structure. They have individual departments dealing with individual problems rather than seeing the area as a whole.
Well, now, how are you saying the problem has to be tackled?
We're saying that first of all, the local authority should isolate the individual problems here. Most of the information is available. We've got it in this report here. But it has to be dug out of individual departments. They should put it all together under one heading, and then they should have an area service team which is responsible for this area, whose loyalty is to this area, not to the city as a whole.
It was only last week that my ceiling all fell in. My bathroom I can't use, which is awkward.
What's wrong with the bathroom?
Well, the bath is all cracked down the side, and I've kept on to the landlord about it, and he won't do nothing at all. This is the last 18 months.
Do you actually occupy all the 7 rooms?
We occupy all the house, yeah, but out of 7 rooms we can only use 3, and all the house is completely damp.
Does that give rise to other problems, the dampness?
Well, it's affecting everything really. I mean, all my food in the cupboard is all going damp, and well, all my carpets are going all mouldy underneath, and everything's going awful.
Do you have any problems of vermin here?
No.
Mice or rats?
Rats, yeah. Well, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago I had a rat in the baby's pram, and yet he was playing with it.
How much do you pay by way of rent?
Well, when we first came we were paying £3.38, but now we're paying £3.50.
Have you been to the local council to try to get rehoused?
We've been up there, yes, and well, we had our name put down, but now they've taken our name off because we're a tenant of the house, and they said that they wouldn't do nothing for us at all. We'd have to find our own accommodation.
Mr. William Bate, Chief Public Health Officer for the City of Cardiff, what's your comment about the shelter report?
Well, can I say first of all that I, and I'm quite sure my council and local government in general, would agree with the sort of general object of this report if it is to draw attention to the fact that there are many people living in adverse housing conditions in the country. But if the intention of the report is to say that the council have not handled the Splot problem properly, or that they haven't handled their slum clearance problem properly, then I'm not in agreement with this at all.
You say you have dealt with these problems?
Yes, the City Council have pursued a very enlightened policy on slum clearance. We've cleared 4,000 houses in the last 10 years, and we are indeed coming to the end of our current programme. This particular area in Splot is awaiting a decision of the Minister as to clearance.
When do you say then the Splot problem will cease to exist?
In the next 2 to 3 years, it will be over.